And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel guys. I hope you're all well. Before we do get into today's video, as always, please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Rangers content. Okay, so it's the morning after, of course, our victory as we beat St Mirren at Ibrox yesterday in the Scottish Premiership. In today's video guys, I'm going to give you my thoughts on the game briefly before we talk about our main subject of today's video, and that is of course Phillipe Clement, as he's frustrating me, he's annoying me. So yeah, I'm going to vent, talk about Phillipe Clement in today's video. Now going to the game, of course, right, we had a great result in the Europa League against FCS, beat them 4-0 at Ibrox, fantastic performance, and I did give the players their credit, I gave everyone their due, but after that game I also said I don't want to get too carried away, because the last time we had a good result in Europe, that being against Malmo, we came back to domestic action and stunk the place out again, and we've been ranked rotten in the league, to be perfectly honest, in general this season. So I did want to hold my reservations with regards to lauding the players and taking it too far and making claims that we're back and we're on an upwards trajectory, and I was right to do so, because again yesterday we got the 3 points, which again I like to do clarify in these videos before people call me negative. Yes, that's the most important thing. Yes, 3 points is the most important thing, you're absolutely correct, and I'm happy that Rangers got a win as much as everybody else is. When Rangers win, I'm a happy man. But at the same time, I am slightly concerned with regards to the performances that we're putting in. We are ranked rotten domestically. We are really poor. And as stated, the manager's comments, the manager's analysis of things really troubles me, really worries me going forward for this football club. Now, going into this game, I think a lot of people were slightly happy to see some changes. Of course, Tavernier, funnily enough, was dropped down to the bench. Egerman started instead of, you know, Dessers, who's been ranked rotten as well recently, and then of course, as stated, a few different changes, and as Phillipe Clement said, 7 of the players that were signed in the summer started the game. So going into, I think a lot of people were happy that we were going to go see something maybe a little bit different, but again, that first half was absolutely rank rotten, absolutely diabolical. I mean, the second half wasn't that much pretty either, but the first half in particular, we were boring, weak from front to back, predictable in all areas of what we were wanting to do, but yeah, St Mirren were far better, the far better side within that first half, and for our perspective, I didn't even know that we even showed up. I thought we were still, you know, celebrating our victory against FCSB. We were diabolical in that first half. Second half, of course, we go on to win the game. Dessers, Cherney, both linking up for that goal. Cherney again getting yet another goal, 3 goals in 2 games to him. So he's an individual that's in good form. Managed to get the win, which is the most important part. But from our actual performance itself, it was rank rotten. But again, as I like to clarify, thankful to get the 3 points. That is the most important thing. I'm not going to begrudge a Rangers team from winning, because there's probably games so far this season where we probably would have drew that game or lost that game. But we got the job done. But then again, at the same time, you know, I don't want to go over the top about, you know, victory, and as people will use this cliche saying, oh, champions play, you know, even when champions don't play well, they get the 3 points. You know, we're not playing well at all domestically, ever, which is really frustrating, and which is really annoying to see, especially at Ibrox. I can understand those sluggish games after a European match away from home. Going to St Mirren can sometimes be a slog, but there's nothing really that, you know, gets me up and motivated that we're going to have a decent season as such. You know, Robin Proper, I hate to say it, you know, a lot of us have been branding Goldson, Davies, all of these guys as rank rotten, and rightfully so. They were fairly poor for us, but my goodness me, he was stinking and brought off on the 60th minute mark, which was pretty poor to see from that perspective. From I suppose a positivity, I do like the look at, I never can get his name right, I probably should learn how to pronounce it, but Casemiro, I think he looks like is a good player and someone that excites me. But again, hard watch, slog, but do get the 3 points, which is probably one of the positives of the weekend. Still stay the same position as we go into, as we come out of the weekend. Celtic, of course, managed to win their match. And from that, it moves us into the area of Phillipe Clement, genuinely, because his comments really do frustrate me, I must admit, because after the game, he was obviously asked about the performance, and he said, no, we started with 7 players who are new this season. That's a work in progress. And I hate that this narrative is being built that this is a work in progress and he gets unlimited time to try and sort this out with his work in progress. I don't get this. I get it to a certain extent, but you've got something, someone needs to remind Phillipe Clement that he's no longer in August, and actually he's at the end of October going into November, and he said in August that in 2 months' time you're going to start to see a team that's worthy of putting in performances. And when it gets to February, what's he going to say? Oh, it's been the first season. You know, all of this narrative about Phillipe Clement needing time with these players and all this sort of stuff before we get better, I think it's just been blown out of the water by looking at another team within our league, and that being Aberdeen. You know, they've got a new manager in through the door who were in a worse situation than we were last season, brought in a bulk of players, obviously lost their best striker as well, spent less than us, £1.5 million I think they spent on assembling their squad, and they're well coached, well drilled and ready to go. Now again, he also said about the expectations of the football club as well, you know, but there's so much you can look at, different case studies from around the world. And I hate to use Celtic as an example, but Celtic under Ange Postecoglou, the season before where they lost the 10 in a row, or we stopped 10 in a row, they stunk the place out, and they had a new manager came in and they lost all their best players and they had a bit of a clear out. But one thing that they had whilst Ange Postecoglou was losing them games is that they had a distinct style of play, and you could kind of see that they were well coached and you could see what they were trying to do. With Phillipe Clement, I just don't know what we're trying to do, and he just frustrates me with his comments that are in the media. And again, I will say, I don't think Phillipe Clement is necessarily a bad manager as such, but I don't necessarily think that he has what it takes to beat Scottish opposition. And now, as much as that might sound absolutely mental, I think he really struggles tactically against the likes of, say, Mirren, Kilmarnock and all these kind of quote-unquote lesser teams within the Scottish Premiership. In Europe, we've kind of seen what he's able to do. He plays some decent football. But against these other teams, he kind of doesn't really have any answers. And Gio was kind of like that a little bit as well. But I genuinely don't think from this perspective of domestically, and it's actually probably the easiest thing to sort out. I genuinely don't think we're going to get much better. And I would go as far to say we are arguably poorer 1 year down the line. So yeah, I'm just interested to see where it goes. I'm going to give Phillipe Clement the benefit of the doubt. I said after the Kilmarnock loss, he's got 3 games to save his job. He's got 2 of them out the way. He's got 2 wins. So I can't really argue with that. He's won 2 matches that I'm not necessarily that my opinions mean something, but I feel like, you know, if he could win the next one, then there might be a point of say, well, actually, we're not too bad. But I want to see a bit more on that. I just don't like his comments in the media at this moment in time, and genuinely, he really does annoy me. But it is on to Aberdeen next. We've got a big one, probably, arguably, our biggest test of the season, apart from Celtic, but I don't think we're anywhere near Celtic in terms of them this season, and I know it's been branded about, but if we lose this game against Aberdeen at Pittodrie, where it's a place that we've struggled, by the way, I don't see us finishing second in the league, which is truly, truly worrying. Truly worrying. So yeah, a massive game, and I think if Phillipe Clement loses the game, which I'm expecting us to lose, I don't expect us to win that match. That's the troubling point. That's the troubling point I have with this side and this team, is that I don't expect us to win this game. have no expectations, and that's how poorly that we're playing. I just don't think we're going to win it. But having said that, you know, Aberdeen might come out and try and play against us, and that actually might suit Phillipe Clement, to be fair to him. So we'll see what happens with the situation. And again, as I said, you know, if he won 3 games after the Kilmarnock game, then he saved his job essentially. But yeah, the guy is starting to piss me off. He's starting to annoy me. But another win is another win, ladies and gentlemen. Do let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What you think of Phillipe Clement. Let me know your thoughts on the performance, and let me know your thoughts on the upcoming game against Aberdeen this weekend. This week, do you think we'll win it? And if we don't win it, is it season over essentially for us? Let me know down in the comments. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button, guys, and I'll see you all next time. Take care. Peace.